All right. Well, good morning, Rotary District 7770. Welcome to Conversations with Rotary Action People for Monday, September 27th. My name is Donald Hovis. I'm your CWRAP host. I'm from the Chicora Rotary Club in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Today, we're going to be talking about all things cruising with our very own Rotary District 7770 cruise captain. You like that, past District Governor Lou Mello?
Sure.
We've got our Rotary District 7770 cruise captain, past District Governor Lou Mello, as our speaker today. Lou, we look forward to your presentation in a few minutes, but let me give a special shout out, as I do every Monday, to the wonderful Mary Gass from the 5 Points Rotary Club for setting up all of our speakers. And as I do almost every Monday, I put a call out for speaker suggestions. Get those over to Mary. If you've had someone at your club recently speak, or you know someone that possibly could benefit from presenting on this program, please get that over to Mary. I know she's got several things booked already for October, but as you know, November and December are around the corner. So we're always looking for speaker suggestions. So get those over to Mary. Awesome. So I'm wearing a little red, white, and blue. So hopefully you all are proud Americans. And if you wonder what I'm talking about, I'm a proud American every day. But if you didn't see that dominant Ryder Cup performance by the United States over the weekend, go USA. All right. So in the chat box, your name, your Rotary Club, and answer 2 questions. Number 1 is if you're in a Rotary Club that has done a service project yet this Rotary year, tell us what it is. And then number 2, do you like chocolate milk? And you're probably saying, why is this guy asking me about chocolate milk? Okay. So if you've done a service project, we want to know yes or no, and what did you do? And then do you like chocolate milk? So introducing our speaker, he is from the Mount Pleasant Rotary Club. Am I correct, Lou? I don't have a bio, so I believe I know you.
That is correct. Yes.
Welcome. And, as a loyal CWRAP watcher and listener, it's an honor to have you speak to us today to tell us all things cruising, and hopefully your voice will get you through this presentation today. But thank you, sir.
I hope so too. Thank you. Let me share my screen and get this into slideshow mode. Okay, everybody should be able to see Cruising for Everyone, How I Learned to Love the Sea.
Good.
Well, I've got a bit of a cold, unfortunately, and so my voice isn't very good. I hope it holds out, but I'll do the best I can. So cruising is for everyone, and I really believe that, because there's a cruise that'll fit everybody's personality, it'll fit their style, it'll fit their needs, and we're just going to talk about what types of cruises are there, what are the costs, what's involved with going on a cruise right now, and then answer any questions you have, because I guess at least Emerson has probably done more cruises than me, and he's probably an expert on this. So you can correct me if I get anything wrong, Emerson. So what type of cruises are there? Well, there's ocean cruises. These are kind of the ones that you see on TV with big ships and lots of things going on. And they could be anywhere from a small ocean line with maybe 1,800 passengers, all the way up to these huge ships that hold 6,800 passengers. And I'm not kidding, 6,800 passengers. There's river cruising in the US, river cruising in the Far East, river cruising in Europe, river cruising in Eastern Mediterranean, a very, very popular form of cruising for a number of people. Then there's expedition cruising. That's a different kind of a cruise entirely. And we're going to show you a couple photos on that and sort of talk about that. There's budget cruising. If you would like to go on a cruise and not spend much money, I'll urge you to go on and Google EmmaCruises.com, EMMA Cruises.com. She is a young lady in the UK. She's a YouTuber, and she has a website that talks about budget cruising, how to do it. And She has all kinds of tricks, and she even has a course that you can take with like videos and such. So she and I are sort of like polar opposites, because I want to go on a ship and be pampered. I want to go on a luxury ship, and she wants to go on the cheapest ship she can find. Then there's premium cruising. We're going to talk about what that means. What's the difference between budget cruising and premium cruising? And then there's luxury cruising, and that's just exactly what it sounds like. It's luxury. Here's a picture of a river ship, a river cruise ship in Germany, I think this is. And there are a number of river cruise lines in Europe, all over the world. And I will tell you that for the most part, 95% of river cruise ships are all inclusive. They would be considered luxury ships in terms of the amenities. Your drinks are all included. Tips are all included. Excursions, at least one in every port's included. Wi-Fi is included. And the number of passengers are relatively small. They may range from 90 up to maybe as much as 300 on a river ship. The river ships in Europe, if they do what they call a Grand European, where they'll start out from Amsterdam and go all the way to Budapest, they will go through 68 locks. They will go through the Main, the Rhine, the Danube, the Main-Danube Canal. So the lock system was finalized in the early 90s, and that allowed all these ships to be built so that they would fit just perfectly in these locks. This is an ocean liner, also just a regular ocean cruise ship. It's a Cunard, Queen Mary II. This is actually the only remaining ocean liner in the world. Now, the difference between an ocean liner and a cruise ship, a large cruise ship, is that an ocean liner was built to traverse the transatlantic. It can go very fast. It's got like 40% more steel, and it's pretty stable. It can go through any kind of storm. They do try to avoid storms for the most part, but depending on when you took a transatlantic in the Atlantic, you're going to have some weather here and there and some rough seas. Now, this is an expedition ship. This is built for the Arctic and the Antarctic. It's an icebreaker class 6, I believe. This is actually a Viking, and they will be launching their expedition ships next year. They have 2 of them coming out. They hold 378 passengers. So it's a small luxury ship. And there are other expedition ships as well with other lines. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a moment. So what are the costs of river, ocean, expedition? River cruises for 1 week are generally about $4,000 per person. They're all inclusive, which means drinks, Wi-Fi, excursions, gratuities, etc. Ocean cruises have 3 levels: standard, premium, and luxury. And there's quite a bit of difference between the 3. We'll talk about that a bit more. But the cost of a standard 1-week cruise in a balcony cabin, not an inside cabin, but a balcony cabin, would be about $600 to $800 per person. This would not include drinks, tips, Wi-Fi, or excursions. Those would all be extra. And I will tell you now that drinks on a ship are very expensive. A beer is probably $8 or $9. A mixed drink is going to be 11 to 15 or more. A glass of wine might be 12 to 15. So drinks are quite expensive. The cruise lines make a lot of money off of drinks. A premium cruise line, a 1-week cruise in a balcony, would be about $1,000 to $1,200 per person. This may or may not include some perks. Some of the premium lines have actually started to include a few perks, and they've raised their the general fare for the week a little bit more, but it's still a pretty good deal. A luxury 1-week cruise in a balcony would be about $3,500 to $5,000. That would include drinks, tips, Wi-Fi, and generally 1 included excursion per port. So who are these standard, premium, and luxury lines? Standard examples would be Carnival, Royal Caribbean, NCL, which stands for Norwegian Caribbean Line. The capacities on these ships range anywhere from about 2,700 passengers to 6,800, and they are family oriented. Now, what do I mean by family oriented? That means they basically set up the ship for families to sail. So lots of kids, lots of teenagers. They have a lot of things going on for the kids and teenagers. They have kids clubs, they have teenagers clubs, they have games on board. So these particular lines, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, NCL, are definitely very, very family oriented. They have tons of things to do. They have water slides, they have go-karts, they have a roller coaster now on the newest Carnival ship. They have a flow rider where you like the water flows and you stand up on a little paddle board and you just flow with it. They have uh, a thing where you can actually like ride in the air like you're like skydiving. I mean, there's just tons of things to do on these ships. They are very, very busy, lots of stuff going on. Carnival is a bit more of a kind of a party ship, if I can say that. Royal Caribbean might be more family oriented and not so much party. And NCL is maybe even a little quieter, more family oriented, but very, very quiet. Premium examples. A premium ship would be Princess Lines, Celebrity Lines, Cunard. Their capacities range from 2,200 to 3,800. Celebrity has just recently changed the way they do their fare in that they now have a sort of an all-inclusive fare. So when you book with them, you will automatically get the basic drinks package, Wi-Fi, and gratuities prepaid. So the fare is a little bit higher now, but it's basically on par with what Princess or Cunard would charge for those items to be extra. Personally, I'd rather pay it up front so I don't have to worry about it on board. I don't like getting nickeled and dimed on board where every time I turn around, I'm signing my name for a drink or signing my name for some, trivia quiz or something like that. So I'd rather pay it up front. Not everybody feels that way. My budget cruiser friend, Emma, she would rather pay the lowest price possible and then just watch her pennies when she's on board. Luxury examples would be Viking, Oceana, Azamara, Seabourn, Crystal, Regent. These capacities are much smaller. They would range from like 350 to 1,250 passengers on board. And the difference between luxury and premium and standard is the luxury is going to include all of your drinks, various amenities, gratuities, Wi-Fi. You'll have a sort of a different level of service. You'll have a different crew to passenger ratio. For example, Viking has 930 passengers as capacity. They have about 700 crew. So you have a very, very good crew to passenger ratio, which has a direct impact on the level of service that you're going to get. Expedition ships cover the Arctic, Antarctic, Great Lakes, Galapagos. Examples are Viking, Silver Seas, National Geographic. Yes, that's right. National Geographic's got a couple of ships. Celebrity. Their capacities range from 48 to 400. They cost between 8,000 to 12,000 per person for about a 10 to 12 day cruise. We are actually booked on a Celebrity expedition ship in the Galapagos next June that holds only 48 passengers. And in the Galapagos, you can only put 50 people to shore at a time. So that means our whole ship will be able to go, whereas another ship that might hold 100 passengers, they would have to do it in shifts. How to pick what's right for you. This is really the most important part of cruising. You have to figure out, what do you like? What's good for you? What is your style? What's your personality? Are you a party person? Do you like a whole bunch of people on board? Do you like a lot of activities? Do you want to go on a ship where you can go skateboarding? You can go ice skating. You can go flow riding. You can take you can ride the roller coaster. Or would you like to go on a ship that's a bit quieter, that doesn't have water slides and those type of things, but has a lot of pool room, pool lounges, a lot of bars and restaurants, a lot of different public areas that you can just sit, be quiet, read a book, whatever. You have to pick what's right for you. Also, do you pick a cruise for the ship or for the destinations? This is a really important thing that people don't always take into account. Personally, I like to pick the ship and the destination more or less equally. destination maybe having a little bit of an edge because there are places I want to see, places I'd like to visit, and I want to do it on a ship that I really enjoy. So I like to pick them both equally carefully. And we have been to multiple destinations a few times, but there's always different things to do in those destinations. So it's not like if you take the same Mediterranean cruise, 3 years in a row, you're going to do the same thing. You can do very, very different things. That's very nice about cruise ships because they have so many destination excursions available through the cruise lines, or you can book your own destination excursions once you get off the ship. Also, do you like a family-oriented or family-friendly cruise? Now, there's a difference between family-oriented and family-friendly. An example would be Royal Caribbean is family-oriented. They have huge ships. They have the big, 36, 46, 56, 6,800 passenger ships, and they really cater to families. Whereas Celebrity is a sister company within the Royal Caribbean group. They are a little more upscale, and they are family friendly in the sense that they enjoy families. They don't necessarily cater directly to kids, but they have a kids club. They have a teenage club. So they're family friendly. Do you like lots of fellow passengers on board? Now, some people really like a crowded ship, except when they go to the buffet or they're getting in line for something, but they like the vibe of a lot of passengers. Again, it has to fit your personality. Do you like excellent food and great service? If you want really excellent food and great service, then you might want to look at the premium ships like Princess and Celebrity, or the luxury ships like Viking, Azamara, etc. You will find excellent food, great service on those ships. On the standard ships, you might get good food, and you probably will. Service may not be great, but it would probably be okay. It just depends on your individual experience, the line that you're traveling with, and are they having a good week or a so-so week? And then lastly, do you like adventures and active excursions? If you like adventure and active excursions, then you might want to consider an expedition to the Arctic, to the Antarctic, to the Great Lakes, to the Galapagos. I think we might talk about these kind of cruises as sort of being bucket list cruises. Okay, Galapagos has been on my list for a long time, so I got a book next year. So that'd be great. So I'll get that, knocked off my list of places I'd like to visit. Now, what about a travel advisor or booking yourself? I really strongly urge everyone to always use a travel advisor. They're your advocate. They do not charge you directly for their services. They're paid commissions by the cruise lines. Excuse me. If you've never cruised before, you can talk to a travel advisor about things that you might like and don't like. They'll tell you the different kinds of options for you. If you want to be a budget cruiser, they'll say, okay, here's Carnival, here's Royal Caribbean, here's NCL. These are all good lines, and you can get yourself a good price for a week cruise or a 10-day cruise or whatever it may be. But they will tell you what you're going to find on each one of those ships. And it is important to know what to expect. It really is. If you, let's say you don't drink, you don't want to be around people that are drinking. Well, by all means, do not go on a 4-day cruise in the Caribbean with one of these lines that's going to have drink specials, because it'll just be kind of like a party ship, and you may not enjoy it at all. Your travel advisor will also have special rates with the cruise lines because they do group bookings. They will often book, say, 20 to 40 staterooms on a ship a year or two in advance, and they'll be able to hold that rate because they're doing a group booking. They can also get some perks from the cruise line. So you might get a free drinks package, or you might get some onboard credit for a couple $100. So these are all advantages of using a travel advisor. The biggest thing now, particularly over the last year or so, and now that we're just kind of getting back into cruising out of COVID, your travel advisor will take care of your flights. They will recommend travel insurance. They'll be the person on the phone for any changes. and this is really critical. I mean, I had 3 cruises canceled in 2020. So I rebooked 3 different cruises. And those cruises, they basically change almost every day in terms of new protocols and delays. I was booked on American Airlines to go on our Greek cruise a week ago. Well, they canceled so many flights, we switched them all over to United Airlines. Your travel agent, your travel advisor, they can get on the phone and take care of these things. You do not want to be the person on hold with an airline for 2 hours, 3 hours, 4 hours. And I'm not kidding. I have talked with people who have spent half a day on the line just trying to make a flight change to fit their cruise. Travel advisor, you pick up the phone and say, "Hey, Michael, take care of this flight for me. Thank you." He'll get back to you. Travel insurance. This is my second absolute must. Never, never, never travel without specific cruise travel insurance. And I mean specific cruise travel, because you can go online and you can find different kinds of travel insurance. But if it doesn't cover a cruise, you might put yourself in a situation where it's not going to work for you because they skip a port and you don't have any insurance against that. And it's very important you get to that port. Talk to your travel advisor. What's best, most appropriate? It might be the cruise line's own insurance. Viking offers insurance, or I mean, they all do. Basically, will offer their own insurance. And right now, during COVID, it's probably at least as important to look at what the cruise line offers, because they are all putting in clauses about coverage for COVID, so that if you tested positive on a ship, you're covered. They'll take care of you. They'll pay for everything. They'll pay for local hotels, isolation. They'll pay for you to travel back to the US. So it's real important now that you work with a travel advisor to get the right insurance for you. And then thirdly, make sure it's specific for cruise travel, so it covers all these situations. There was a situation where a few people in Barbados had to leave Barbados and fly back to the US, and it cost them $40,000 to charter a plane. So it's no exaggeration to think that you might wind up spending hundreds of thousands of dollars. If you get seriously hurt in a foreign port and they put you in a hospital, that hospital is going to expect to be paid up front. They're not going to let you leave the country until you get this paid for. So never, never, never travel without specific cruise travel insurance that includes medical, repatriation, etc. Adult cruising. Okay, so I think we're all adults on the line. Do you want to cruise just with adults? Many people prefer cruising with adults only. So how do you do this? Well, there's a few lines that are adults only. Viking Ocean, Viking River, Virgin, which is a brand new line. Basically, they've just started doing cruises around the UK in their first ship, because they launched their very first ship, the Scarlet Lady, about a week after COVID started. So it never had paying passengers until just recently, sailing around the UK. Saga in the UK, and that is a adults only, and you must be over 50 line. And the caveat is, if you're 40 or over and not yet 50, you have to travel with somebody that's 50. So that's an interesting approach. P&O also, they have 3 of their ships are adults only, and 3 of their ships are family. Also, travel when schools are in session. If you want to travel with adults for the most part, but you want, let's say you want to go on Royal Caribbean or NCL or Carnival, well, travel with them when school's in session, so there'll be fewer kids on board, if that's your preference. Also, don't book a 3 or 4 day cruise with special drinks package. It'll turn into a booze cruise with tons of college students or young adults. My wife won a cruise out of Savannah once, years and years ago. It was like 4 days over to Nassau and back. And it was just almost like a bus ride. It really wasn't a cruise at all. Best places to go for your first cruise. So a lot of times when people say, well, what's the best thing to do? And they think, well, let me just take a 3 or 4 day cruise, because then I'll get an idea. Well, that's really not going to give you an idea what a cruise is about, because it's not going to include maybe more than one port. You're not going to have you're not going to have sea days that you might find out that you like or you don't like. So my suggestion is go to the Caribbean for 7 days or more. If you like a lot of activities and a lot of people, take one of those standard cruise lines, Carnival, Royal Caribbean, NCL. Lots of things to do. Or go to the Mediterranean for 7 days or more. That's a great first cruise. You get great ports, great destinations, tremendous excursions, and you're going to have great weather as well. It's very, it's very strange that you would have bad weather anytime in the Mediterranean. It's almost always good. Then thirdly, pick the ship that fits your personality and your requirements. This is a big, big deal. It really is. And I would suggest if you haven't cruised before, that you find a good travel advisor, not somebody you just like pick out of the book. Talk to friends, find out who they use, find out what their experiences are. Pick somebody who's going to understand what you're looking for. Pack non-drowsy Dramamine for possible seasickness. You never know if you're going to get seasick or not. If you've never done a cruise, some people absolutely has no effect on them. Other people, all they have to do is like walk and the ship move a little bit and they're sick. So non-drowsy Dramamine or Bonine, I think is another one. You just take it before your trip, take one a day and you're fine. Pack light. Put out everything you think you'll wear and put half of it back in the closet. You can do laundry on a cruise ship. I'm serious about this. We used to overpack. We'd have 2 big suitcases for like a 10-day cruise. Now we take 1 suitcase and we're fine. That's all we need for a week or 10 days. Understand the documents required and the COVID test needed. This is critical right now. The toughest thing about cruising right now is getting your documents in order, knowing what you have to do to get on board. For example, we just came back from a cruise in Greece. So we had to do a number of things. One, you had to register with the Greek government, fill out all the information for them about where you are, what you're doing, and so forth. They send you an email with a QR code. You have to present that QR code upon arrival in Athens, in our case, otherwise you can't get in the country. Secondly, you have to have your vaccination card, not a copy, your vaccination card. It's a good idea to go ahead and photo your vaccination card and keep it on in your phone and so forth. And you can use that on occasion, but mostly when you're just arriving in a country, they want to see the original vaccination card. Thirdly, testing. The ship we were going on required a rapid test or a PCR test. So the rapid test we could not arrange in Charleston, any place, because they've gotten very, very busy. And so the ship itself, the Apex for Celebrity, was offering rapid tests at the terminal. In fact, they weren't offering, they were requiring everybody had to do another rapid test at the port before they got on the ship. So you have test, vaccination card, Greek forms, and then passport, of course. Everybody's got to have their passport. So all of this has to be done in advance. You have to check the website for the steamship line and the airline and the country to find out exactly what you need to have with you at all times. Last point here is always keep your passport up to date. You cannot use it if it will expire within 6 months after your trip. So if you're going on a trip starting tomorrow, then your passport has got to be good through at least the end of March 2022. Otherwise, the airlines will not let you fly because they are sort of like the guardian right now for the cruise lines and for other countries in terms of requirements. And also make sure you get proper visas. This is another area that your travel advisor can help you with. You know, if you book a cruise for 6 different ports, maybe one of those ports requires a visa. Maybe it can be done electronically. Maybe it has to be done, manually, but your travel advisor will be able to help you with that. And that is it. So, questions?
I will agree with District Governor Paul in saying you're not only our cruise captain, but our Rotary District 7770 travel advisor.
Well, I can share a lot more thoughts. If anybody has any specific questions, I'm happy to answer those. That's for sure. This was just sort of a general approach to cruising. I think the most important thing that you can get out of this is find a cruise and a cruise line that fits your personality, fits your style. If you ever get an email from me and it says, "Hey, I'm this I'm on this Carnival ship in the Bahamas, and I'm having a great time, you've been scammed, because that's not me. I'm not traveling on Carnival. That's just not my style, not my fit. So
I will say, and maybe those of you on here know if someone in your club is a travel agent. Our current president of my club is a travel agent, so I'm sure there's some great people around the district if you need help getting information on. I'm sure there are Rotarians that are travel agents as well, not only Lou but others. Lou, first question: how do you keep from gaining weight at the cruise buffets?
well, first of all, it's easy to gain a pound or two a day if you don't watch yourself. So we basically eat on a ship just like we do at home. The only exception might be I might have a dessert with dinner every night, where I don't have that at home. So it is easy to fall into the buffet problem where you just load up. Now, the good thing about it right now is every cruise line except Carnival are having the crew serve the buffet to you. So you walk up and say, I'd like a piece of chicken, or I'd like a piece of that pie, and they will give it to you. And for some reason, people don't pile on. They just say, okay, I'll come back maybe if I need some. But you do have to kind of watch yourself, because it's very easy on a 10-day cruise to gain 10 pounds if you're not careful. And I see Mary wants to know if you have to dress for dinner. Okay, that is a good point. And I didn't put it into the presentation, but there's only one line that really requires very strict dress for dinner, and that's Cunard. And they will have, on a 1-week cruise, they'll have at least one gala night where a tuxedo or men in a suit and tie is absolutely required. If you try to show up in a very smart looking jacket and nice shirt and nice casual pants, they will say, go to the buffet. They won't let you in. So, but they're the only ones really that are like that. Princess Lines is still a little bit more traditional. When they say gala, they're looking for a gentleman to wear a nice smart shirt, maybe just a jacket, but ties are not required. Many of the luxury lines, and this was a little bit of a surprise to me as I became more familiar, they absolutely don't require formal dress at all. It's smart casual every day, every night. They definitely discourage you wearing shorts into the dining room in the evening, but slacks, nice shirt. Women can wear almost anything as long as it looks nice. The women can do that. So there's no real formal dress anymore on most ships.
Lou, I received 2 direct message questions, so I'm going to ask them to you here now. Is how far in advance do you book? And then have you ever traveled on, is it Tauck, T-A-U-C-K, or
Yeah, T-A-U-C-K.
Uniworld?
Uniworld. I have not done Uniworld. I have traveled with Tauck. I did a 15-day Scandinavian tour with Tauck. It was not a cruise. It was a land tour. And they are first class, absolutely first class. They really are. And the first part of the question was what again, Donald?
How far in advance do you book?
Okay. I book usually a year or 2 in advance because that way I can line up my schedule. Also, you know, you're going to have a fairly decent rate locked in because cruise rates will go up from year to year. There is another way to do this. You can be one of those people that like to cruise at the last minute and get a bargain. You can just get on various websites of cruise lines and say, notify me for any last minute bargains. And they may send you an email on Tuesday and say, if you can get on a ship on Saturday, the rate's cut in half. So for the most part, booking well in advance is a way to lock in a fairly decent rate. And just hints about rates, holidays, much more expensive. Christmas and New Year's, much more expensive. The reason I'm going on a cruise at Christmas and New Year's this year with Oceana is they basically had a half price sale about 9 or 10 months ago. I didn't know if I get to cruise in 21 at all. So I said, yes, sign me up. So included air, half price. I said, I can do this. This is a good deal.
Excellent. Last call for questions. Anyone got any additional questions? Great information.
Okay.
Doesn't look like we have any coming through. So Lou, thank you very much. Upcoming speakers. Next Monday, Captain Brian Murphy, who is a captain with the Myrtle Beach Police Department. He is also a SEC college football official. He'll be with us next Monday. On the 11th of October, we have Patrick Lungano talking about impact clubs. On October 18th, we have Joe Witowski, who's talking about the Hero Awards program. And then the last Monday in October, we'll do some Halloween trivia. And guys, study up on your trivia. I give you a month's notice. I mean, come on now. It can't get any worse than last year. So let's make it better this year than last year. Okay, so several of you, I'm going to go back to the chat and call out some service projects and some chocolate milk lovers. First of all, it is National Chocolate Milk Day, so that's why I asked the question. Let's see, we've done some backpack buddies and fridges with Hilton Head Island. I'd like to know what the fridges is. Several planned at 5 points. Done some Hurricane Ida relief. We just did a Miracle League game this past Saturday. We have a road cleanup project coming up this Saturday. Let's see, doing our crab race fundraiser. That sounds fun. Little River's cleaned up the streets and done some hurricane relief. It looks like Little River has a fall in the 5K in Polio Now walk run next Saturday. Awesome. Happy Feet. Yes, most people do that. We're doing that in November. And I have a question. So you see it in the chat. Does a Wendy's Frosty count as chocolate milk? I mean, hey, I think so. I'll give you that, Chappelle. Great. Yes. So I will now call on District Governor Paul to talk about the conference.
Yes, this is a land-based cruise that Captain Lou is helping to plan. It'll be on March the 11th through the 13th. We are having a Rotary family reunion here in sunny Hilton Head at the Sonesta Resort. Yes, we are still planning an in-person conference at this time. We are making a month-to-month decision to do that, but if we don't plan now, it won't happen in March. So join us March 11th through the 13th, sunny Hilton Head, Sonesta Resort. You can go ahead and reserve your room today, and we will have on DACDB shortly your registration for the conference as well. So look forward to seeing y'all here in March of 2022.
So Paul, if someone wants to go ahead and book their room, do they do it? Can they do it via online on the website? Do they have to call? Is there a promo code or a booking code or something?
There is a promo code, which I do not have committed to memory, but we can send that out again. But if they were to tell them District 7770 conference, I'm sure that they will find them. If they don't, please call me and I will get them to the right person.
Excellent. Thank you very much, Paul.
And it is $179 per night.
Excellent. Looking forward to March. Looking forward to being in person as well. I hope that definitely happens. So those of you on here, book your rooms. We hope to see you in Hilton Head, as Paul says, sunny Hilton Head, in March. And it's currently sunny now. So we're good. We're good. You're speaking the truth there, sir. All right. Here we go, folks. We'll close down the CWRAP today with the Rotary four-way test. Of the things we think, say, or do, is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? Will it be beneficial to all concerned? Have a great week. We'll see you next Monday for the next conversation with Rotary Action People.
Bye, everyone.
That's a wrap. Bye-bye.